everybody. Welcome to the Las Vegas Tribune News, local news, and online music and entertainment. I am the Komisha Monica. Everybody, listen, like I always say, if you ain't here, you ain't nowhere. So today I got a very special guest, very, very special guest, actually. I like to call him the women empowerment fighting guru.
Ambassador.
You know what? He knows more about himself than I do, but listen, he's an important guest today because there's so much happening in the world, but we got one topic that may have plagued most of us. Violence? Do you guys know anything about violence? And let's also talk about domestic violence against women. And let's also talk about how women can protect themselves, laws that can be implemented to help us get through it. And in addition to that, I'm going to let him tell you how you can protect yourself. All right, John, thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you, Monica. Thanks very much for having me and Las Vegas Tribune. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So, John, talk to us. What do you do?
What do I do? Well, it's, if you've got a couple of hours, I'll tell you. No, it's been a great history coming to America, winning a lot of world titles in self-defense and overall. So I've won, I think now it's been over 45 major titles in martial arts and 28 world titles in the United States. And now living here, last 5 years. And it's great winning all those titles and being part of Hall of Fames and all these other things and getting nice awards. But my main ambition from the beginning when I started teaching self-defense and martial arts was empowering women.
Okay.
And this is where it's in the early 80s when we're training. Unfortunately, women to kind of look in the door and just about run out faster than being attacked, and they get and all this kind of stuff and breaking wood and stuff, and it just wasn't suitable for women, even though it's important. It's more important for women than anybody else to learn self-protection, self-defense techniques. So in the early 80s, I was training, and then I saw this, and then I've seen a lot of statistics: 1 in 3 women being sexually assaulted or physically violated. And
1 in 3.
1 in 3. It's disgusting. What disgusting? Absolutely, it's got to stop. And there's a number of ways of doing that. And and I had a friend in a musical society, and I was doing some acting stuff, fun, and had been raped, and I empowered her by teaching her self-defense. And then she got a lot of more confidence back, and then I started teaching at that time. My friends from the musical society and my fiance's friends at that time in the musical society, self-defense, and then a friend of Graham Horn and I started to teach self-defense to girls' schools in 1985 in Sydney, Australia.
Okay.
At the same time,
is that where you're from?
Yes, Sydney, Australia. Yes,
Sydney, Australia.
Yes. Good old Aussie, oi, 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 and here are the tennis and stuff like that. All right, so it's a lot of fun, and being an Aussie, I love it. So it's a great country. And got to get you Americans over there, and so that's how it all happened. And I got my black belts in Hapkido Muhakkwan and Taekwondo Jidokwan under Sung Soo Lee, Grandmaster, now Senior Grandmaster Sung Soo Lee, who I've just become an 8th Dan black belt, or Americans call it degree, under, and also the President USA representative for Hapkido Muhakkwan in the USA, promoting that because Hapkido is a perfect style for women.
Okay.
Because it combines all elements of the martial arts. And it's all self-defense orientated. Most of the martial arts have what they call Japanese kata, where they're doing the movements in a sequence. In Taekwondo, we call them pumsei, and they're generally known as forms competitions you do at the tournaments and things like that. And I've mainly won a few of these different competitions, but mainly self-defense. I've been winning that for a long time. Been coming to Americans since 1998, and now through IMAC, International Martial Arts Council. And thank you to Grandmaster Stan Witz. He's put on those tournaments since the 70s. And he was under Chuck Norris and did stuff with great Chuck Norris as well. And he's got a great history, Stan himself, and put on these world championships and USA Nationals and Winter Internationals. And so I've been back and forth. Now, living here the last 5 years, a little bit cheaper now to come. So, which is great, to Las Vegas. And now opening a school in Las Vegas as well. East Sahara Street, and we're going to really focus on Hapkido, Taekwondo, defense fit to music for women, safe seminars, which is self-protection, anti-bullying, fitness empowerment, and also like monthly self-defense courses or 4-week courses as well. So the thing is, And I've also put together a petition. So when I said before about there's a couple of ways of trying to get this statistic around, and there's two ways of empowering women through self-defense techniques. So Hapkido is perfect because we do every level we do the Hapkido grading with the holds and grabs. But if you don't want to do the gradings or get a black belt, that's fine. You can do defense fit to music.
Okay.
So it's all the moves to music and on pads. There's no contact. There's a bit of a problem with the word martial arts sometimes because they think it's in the ring and UFC and but not traditional martial arts. You start off non-contact, nice and easy. It's a lot of fun too, and it's very good for you. A lot of benefits: confidence, self-esteem increases. Psychology today did a study on it.
Okay.
Lower levels of anxiety, so it's great stress release. Higher levels of self-esteem. Less likely to be radical or go into drugs and things like that, because exercise or sport, my other sports are tennis and pickleball. I've been lifelong passions with tennis and martial arts, and now pickleball last 5 years for them. They're just so good for you. Sport is really, really good for you, adults and children. Unfortunately, when adults, their main exercise is this, driving their kids to sport. So that with this new center, we're doing like a multi-sports, self-defense, pickleball. At East Sahara, 2025 East Sahara, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff for adults, children, and seniors.
Okay, so let's talk more about why is domestic violence such a huge thing, and why you're so passionate about it.
Well, yes, it's as I said, having women knowing that they wanted to do self-defense or martial arts and it didn't seem to suit them back in the early 80s. So now with these programs, it'll really, really help them get their confidence. The good thing about Hapkido, for example, is has a non-violent techniques or non-aggressive techniques. So like joint twists, wrist locks, just avoiding the situation in the first place. But if you have to, like against a knife or a serious situation, you have to punch throats and hit noses. That's you can save your life. That's what you need to do. Okay. So you have a choice with Hapkido. Okay. Now with domestic violence, we're talking about someone you marry, you love, you've had children too, becoming aggressive against you. Okay. That when I teach at the schools, I say to the girls, as much as men need women need men, women need men, all this kind of stuff, you're better off with no one than the wrong one.
Oh gosh, like say that one more time.
You're better off with no one in your life than the wrong one.
Absolutely.
Because this is the problem. All their girlfriends are getting boyfriends, but they just latch on to anybody that shows a bit of an interest.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, there's a thing called drugs and excessive alcohol, which then makes some of these people into lunatics, into a very aggressive. Sometimes, some people calm in certain situations, but I think with excessive alcohol is a major issue. At least in America, 21 is a better age than Australia, which is 18, which is way too young. 18, way too young. Okay. They start at like 15 then. At least in 21 in America. There doesn't seem as much drinking culture in America as Australia in that regard, but there seems to be more of a drug culture, unfortunately.
Let me stop you right there and ask a question.
Yeah.
Have you read any statistics where they say alcohol and drugs is a reason for this violence, or it encourages the violence against women, or because men can be assaulted as well?
Of course, anyone can be assaulted.
Okay.
99% of people I find are fine, but then you add in excessive alcohol or drugs, and then some of these people just go nuts. Okay. They become aggressive.
Okay.
And then we also teach the women how to talk their way out of it or calm the situation down rather than screaming at them, "You're drunk again and get out here," or something like that. That causes escalation and have an excuse maybe to get out of the household if aggressive situations occurring rather than argue against it when they're full of drugs and alcohol. You can't argue with anybody. You've got to just, that's pink. Yes, it is. Whatever, just agree with them, calm it down.
Just agree with them, just to calm them down.
So there's this we call verbal de-escalation.
Verbal de-escalation.
Or verbal
What's
judo.
The other one?
Verbal judo is called. So I've had top psychologists in the courses. We've done all this stuff, studied all this stuff, and it's really important if you can talk your way out of any situation first before having to resort to punching or kicking or escaping or blocking.
Okay.
If that doesn't work and they're still aggressive, then you need to block, move out of the way and run.
Correct.
So we call that self-protection.
Correct.
If they come back at you, then
Correct.
you have to hit pretty hard to the throat, the eyes, the nose, the
Correct.
throat, the groin, and the knees.
Correct.
Using your fist, elbow,
Okay.
knees and feet, palms, fingers. So your harder areas against the attacker's softer areas. But you're not fighting. It's not like you're in the ring going for 12 rounds.
Okay.
You're just trying to get away.
Okay.
So if you one of these techniques, I've had plenty of people say, yes, one strike and I've got away from the situation. Other people said, I've talked my way out of it from the stuff, what you've taught me. So it's a whole program of, this self-protection. We're not being paranoid about it.
Okay.
By all means, most people are nice, but the situation is some people aren't when it comes to, in general, or they're a criminal mind, or excessive alcohol and drugs just cause them tip over the edge. So this is the issue. It's same with domestic violence. Often it's from choking to death, which is probably one of the easiest things to actually get out of.
Okay.
Just hit, knee, strike, comes from back, swing back. You can see them all on my YouTube channel, John Gill Self-Defense. There's got a whole world's best self-defense techniques on there, and a whole bunch of other women's and TV programs, a whole bunch of stuff you can learn this from, as well as coming to seminars or whatever. But yeah, it's actually quite, it's easier
Okay.
than what people think
Okay.
to protect yourself against violence.
Okay. You hear it?
So it's easier, particularly chokes and stuff. The problem is with someone choking you, if you haven't been trained, the normal reaction is try and pull the hands down. Now, strength against a man and a woman against him is not going to work. So you need technique.
Okay, listen, you do need technique,
Yeah.
but we're gonna move over from technique because we're now entering the perpetrator.
Right.
The person who's. Let's talk about the perpetrator and let's talk about what you're doing to make sure that, or how you feel and what you're implementing to make sure that the perpetrator understands that he or she cannot take action against people and assault. What are we looking at as far as legalities and what these people look like?
Exactly. So this is like anything in life, we need good education and good law in standing. Now, the issue is around the world mainly, and this is a law I want to put in around the world, not just America or Australia, but just around the world, that, prevention is way better than cure, obviously. So to prevent this happening, or at least help it, to make attackers think twice, is put in very strong minimum sentences, not just maximum. Maximum could be, life in jail 100 years, but then if they have a good attorney or the judge feels a bit sorry for them because they had a bad childhood, which is no excuse.
Okay.
It's not what happens to you in life, it's what you do about it that counts.
It's what you do about it that counts.
So you've got to be motivated to be a good person and do the right thing by people. So in that situation, we need a minimum sentence. So in my opinion, and I put this on change.org, that the minimum sentence for murder is definitely life in jail without parole.
Okay.
A lot of people think it should be capital punishment as well. That's another thing, but life in jail without parole is something you can immediately implement around the world. Capital punishment's an individual thing. I know America bring it back in certain countries. Australia don't have it, but if they want to do that, that's fine later. But this is something we can put in straight away. Throw the keys away, because what happens is they often do it again. They often do it again, particularly violent crimes or rape or murder. They often hear situations where someone's got out on parole. And they've just gone and done it again to somebody, and it's very horrific, and it's ruined now someone else's life and their family around them. So people forget about that person's died. So a mother and a father have lost a child. Someone else has lost a sister or a brother. You know what I mean? Their sister or whatever. It's just, and their friends around them, and it's just devastating to people's lives. So why should that person that did it be deserved to even be here on the planet?
What?
Let alone the person that attacked them. The person that attacked them don't even deserve to be here. So that's where capital punishment comes in.
Okay.
But if they are here and they did it, then yes, it's life in jail without parole.
Okay.
So they don't even deserve to be here. That person that attacked somebody else.
What about some people who would say that's a little bit of that's harsh when the reality is that in the judicial system they do consider childhood, they do consider triggers. Crimes of passion, where they do allow for, here in America, they do allow for a lighter sentence on crimes due to backgrounds and whether or not you've committed an offense prior to. What about all of that going up against what you're saying?
Why? They've just murdered somebody.
Mm-hmm.
They've just taken life away and ruined hundreds of people around them. It's not right. I don't care. There's no excuses for violent crime. There's no excuses. There's other crimes you can look at, that white collar crimes or whatever, and work something out that way. It doesn't hurt people individually. I'm talking about vicious violent crimes, so like sexual assault. If it's a sexual assault, a physical sexual assault, and that, like a minimum 10 years, for example.
Okay.
If it's a rape, horrific rape, a physical rape.
Okay.
I'm not talking about someone just. That's another thing, ladies. It's just a bit of advice. Coffee doesn't mean coffee.
What does it mean?
Coffee doesn't mean coffee. Listen to this. Come back to my house for coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It might not be, it might.
Oh, yeah, let's
be,
have a coffee. Oh, the
and then
latte
they
too.
slip something in your coffee.
That's right. Drinks and things like, exactly. Is it buying someone stranger, buying a drink at the club? What do you have to be careful? You have to, be there next to them when the bartender's giving it to them. I'm sorry, but this is the way it is. It's very, very sad. We have to be like that. But it's just, you don't go back to someone's house, a man's house or apartment, unless you're intending to.
Okay.
Because that's the other issue. It's very hard to prove that kind of stuff, like whether it was consensual or not, but she did come to his house. But a rape where they pick you off the street, and they brutally attack you and rape you, those guys are going away, oh my goodness, at least 20 years. Minimum 20. Maximum can be 80. Great.
Okay. So tell me this, what is your organization doing to make sure that they keep the perpetrators off the street?
I'm not, all I can do is put the change.org together.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Can they sign a petition?
Yeah, I've got a petition on it. I've got a petition
on Change.
We can put the link in from underneath as well. But if they can sign the petition and share it to get to the lawmakers to bring this into law. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, I think, I didn't put this into petition, but I think there should be chemical or even real castration for rapists. So they don't do it again. They lose their sexual drive. Now, once a man knows he's going to lose these, and he will think twice or 3 or 4 or 5 times before he sexually assaults you or rapes you. They're going to and put this in law. So I think, they chop people's hands off for stealing. I think that's a bit radical over some countries. Stop the stealing. If it's a sexual assault, they should probably chemical castration to stop the sexual urge. Because these guys just do it again. Or they're serial rapists or pedophiles. It's disgusting. So a pedophile or a serious rapist like that, they've got to get minimum 20, if not more, maximum, not just 5 years or 6, 10, it's not good enough. And also, it should be in law that they should look at chemical castration as well. I didn't put that in this petition, but it's something that they should consider as well for these serial, so they can't do it again.
Okay.
So maybe they can get back in society eventually, but they've lost their sexual drive, something to do, modern technology can do all that stuff. So to stop them being, attacking these young girls or pedophiles and attacking these women, and it's just, and you hear of, famous movie producers and things like that doing it. It's horrible. Yeah. It's just not right.
Yeah.
But they don't realize the psychological and physical damage they're doing to someone. And on the other end of the scale, learn self-defense and stop it happening. Punch him in the throat, hit him hard in the nose, kick him in the wheres, and run away. This is what prevention is a bit of a cure. And that happened to a 13-year-old girl I taught. Back in Australia, she was at a well-to-do area, well-to-do school, and she was 10 weeks, we did a 10-week course for the terms. She was 5 weeks, halfway through the course, and she basically, with the day or so, a couple days before, we're actually practicing this gag where you pull and hit the thumb, and they come in, and she came to the next lesson, Mr. Gill, I got attacked, and she showed me a sand shoe where she had blood on it from the guy's nose. She got attacked, she was only 13, she was dragged to a toilet block in a park, in a well-to-do area in Australia, and pulled thumb, hit him in the groin with the back, exactly like I taught her. Mm-hmm. He bent over and she just kicked him straight in the face and splattered his nose, and then got a bit of blood on the shoe, and then the police got him. So 2 things from that. She stopped herself being raped. He was dragging her to a toilet block. It was right. It was obviously what he was trying to do. She stopped that. She'd probably stop someone else getting attacked because they often get away with it and do it again.
Okay.
And he's gone to jail for it and at a sentence, so he's less likely to do it again to other people. Now, if they implemented those laws as well and educated at school, I know there's the religion, educate, thou shalt not kill and everything, that's fine, good. But it should be thou shalt not rape, murder, attack, not even thou, just that's in law. And this, if you do that, you get 20 years minimum, life in jail without parole, you get chemical castration for rapists. And I'm telling you now, combine that with women learning self-defense, and that 1 in 3 will go out the window. It could be 1 in thousands eventually. I'm hoping by the time I pass away, it'll be 1 in trillion or 1 million, whatever. It won't even be existing. The women will be so empowered while they're learning these techniques. And it's great exercise, and it's good for you as well. Okay. Doing self-defense and confidence and self-esteem, and you just feel a lot more, even if you don't have to use it. Better to know and not need than to need and not know.
And on that note, let's
right.
recap here. So you've come to America, and you want to set a standard for women being able to defend themselves at the basic level. You are a black belt twice over.
Yeah, black belt. That's in Hapkido and Taekwondo.
Yeah, twice over. And you believe that if women have the knowledge to at least protect themselves, they may save their lives, they may be able to get away, and this is something that women should know, just at the very basic level, how to defend yourself from a perpetrator. You also feel that in terms of the legalities of perpetrators, it should be minimum sentence, something like 10 years for assaulting someone, a woman or child, or it shouldn't just be a light sentence. And you're here to teach in Las Vegas. You have a center now that you're going to be teaching at, but you want to do more things where women can show up and get the training. Can you now tell us where we can find you, your organization, maybe a phone number if you're comfortable with that, or maybe they can just go to the website. Let them know where we can find you before we go.
Yeah, sure. It's obviously the YouTube channel is John Gill Self-Defense, with an S in America, so overseas with Australia. John Gill Self-Defense is YouTube, so you can look at, actually, the full thing is John Gill Self-Defense and Martial Arts Instruction, but you just do put John Gill Self-Defense in YouTube to find it. It's I've got USA School of Self-Defense.com, also under John Gill Self-Defense.com website. You need to update that a little bit more, but it's out there. And you see heaps of stuff on YouTube. And also, email johngillselfdefense@gmail.com. That's with an S, johngillselfdefense@gmail.com. And I've also got John Gill Self-Defense Facebook, John Gill generally Facebook, my Pickleball channel as well. John Gill Pickleball. There's a lot of Instagram, whole bunch of stuff. And I'm happy for you to if you need to text or call, and 657-695-6838. 657-695-6838. No spams, please. But definitely only if you're interested in learning. And happy to help you. And I do instructor to you. I do the clinics and seminars and run around the place. And I'm still in the process, definitely, of opening in Australia and America at the same time. So I have my students in both. Got Greg Romero here, my partner and student for we're winning a lot of them last 5 years, all the self-defense world championships and Winch Internationals we won recently as well. So a whole bunch of self-defense events we keep winning. He'll be teaching here in Vegas, as well as we'll put some other people on as well. And then in Australia, I'm opening schools back in the North Shore area as well. Where I was born and bred, Neutral Bay, Mossman, and Pymble areas all around in Australia to teach as well. And I'll be be back and forward as well, and have my student Isaac and whole team there as well. And of course my Grandmaster, Senior Grandmaster Sung Soo Lee is there. Really excited to be training with him since the mid-80s, and it's just been great. And it's got my 8th then, as I said, and really excited. And being the USA representative for our system, Hapkido Muay Kwan. Hapkido is really awesome. It's a complete art of self-defense and the original mixed martial art. Very, very good for women. And the defense fit to music for women. They don't want to do the belts, and you don't have to be a black belt or anything. I've had people like that girl who'd only done 5 lessons defend themselves and get away. Yeah. So you don't have to do it forever.
You don't have to do it forever.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's good for you.
But if you want to get some training, if you feel like if you even feel like right now you're going through something in life, right now, in this moment, just know there are people on the other side that can help you. Don't feel hopeless. Don't feel like it's the end. Your way out is coming. Just take the first step. And there's people like John Gill who's out here ready to teach you and ready for your phone call. Everybody, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks very much for having me in Las Vegas Tribune. Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to the Las Vegas Tribune News, local news and online music and entertainment. I am the Quenisha Monica. I'm here with John Gill today. And everybody, like I always say, if you ain't here, you ain't nowhere. I'll see you again. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Now,
Thank you.
I didn't want the camera to cut off because I didn't want to run out of... Let me see if the camera cut off. Oh, it's still going.
Still going, so is mine.
Do you know that was like